Now, imagine stepping onto a chessboard where each piece has precise moves, and depending on the order and the combination, you could play a nearly infinite variety of games. Much like chess, Italian tax system has its fixed rules, specific moves, and a board that dictates boundaries. But yet, with very careful planning, those rigid structures can lead to optimized tax strategies and significant opportunities equal to money saved, if you know what I'm talking about. In Italian taxation, understanding these moves, if you want, and the board is very critical. The chess pieces represent the many tax regulations in force, from deductions and credits to tax treaties and tax incentives. And each one of them has its defined rules, but your approach to using them can vary based on your personal circumstances, your personal goals, and of course, financial setup and background. I think that the complexity is really hidden in the strategies you employ to achieve your desired tax outcome. Just as in chess, the objectives is not merely just follow the rules, but to maneuver them toward a win. So the Italian tax system has a specific board, if you want a square, a framework within which within these taxes are applied and enforced. And the board represents immovable elements like I don't know, income tax brackets, the 23 to 43%, national tax residency laws, the wealth tax, and Italy's agreements with other countries to avoid dual taxation. And the pieces are the individual tax mechanisms such as exemptions, deductions, citizenship, specific income sources, residency, and special tax regimes for expats. Like in chess, the opening determines very much of your strategy for the game from that moment onwards. So in Italy, establishing whether or not you're a tax resident is like the opening move of the game. Being an Italian tax resident means you're taxed on your worldwide income, whereas non-residents are taxed only on Italian source of income. For expats, as many of you already know, the opening move here is carefully managing tax residency status through the so-called 180 days rule, or more correctly, other residency tests like the permanent establishment test and the most famous the tiebreaker rules. And knowing this package of rules means that before making a single move, you're aware of how the game can shift based on where you spend your days and how you manage financial ties and personal ties with Italy or another country. Each chess piece has its own strengths, as in Italian legislation. Deductions, exemptions are very powerful tools. Deductions on top for medical expenses, educational costs, home renovations, super bonus, home improvements, and even donations to non-profit organizations offer opportunities to reduce the taxable income. Likewise, the flat tax option for new residents allow you to pay a single flat tax annual amount, a lump sum, of all the foreign source of income, regardless of its size. A tool that, with a strength like a queen of the board, is capable of quickly changing your position, of course, if it's more profitable and convenient for you. Expats in general can also benefit from special regimes such as the regime impatriati that offers a very generous tax reduction of 50% on the income generated in Italy, and just for individuals who move there, who work and stay for at least 5 years. This, let's say, piece opens the game up for high-earning individuals to keep a very large part of their income for several years out of taxes. Protecting your king in chess, the foreign tax credit helps protect your income from being taxed twice, and it wouldn't be fair. If you earn income outside of Italy and pay taxes in that given country, you can often claim a foreign tax credit to avoid paying the same taxes again in Italy. The credit is a defensive move, a legal way, shielding your income from the double taxation and ensuring that your moves outside Italy don't compromise your strategy within its tax system, with the Italian one. And just to go to the end game in chess is as critical as the opening. Planning for wealth and inheritance taxes in Italy can save a lot of expenses down the road. Italy has inheritance tax and wealth taxes, but they vary depending on assets location and family relationships. A built endgame might involve planning, asset distribution, or using, trust, for example, and other financial setups to mitigate inheritance tax exposure, for example. And this can be your final checkmate, where you minimize tax liabilities while keeping wealth secure for future generations in a foreign country. Dual taxation tax treaties play a role similar to rooks in chess. These treaties cover long distances, stretching across borders to ensure that income is taxed only between Italy and another country, just once, or eventually you'll pay just the difference to Italy. Italy has treaties with so many countries to avoid dual taxation, and each with specific clauses that impact different income types. And please remember, each country goes with a different treaty, so don't not copy and paste something that works for country A to country B. For expats, knowing the rules of these treaties can be a powerful way to ensure very efficient tax management and avoiding paying, unnecessary taxes. Like moving a rook across the board, tax treaties reach deep into your tax setup, helping ensure that your income is not hit from both sides, if you know what I'm talking about. Italian tax strategy, like chess, involves potential, moves planning in the long run, despite clear-cut rules. As you make moves along the go, claiming deductions, estimating credits, planning wealth transfers, and so on, you're orchestrating a tax game where each decision builds upon the last one. The key to winning this game is, first of all, understanding that each rule, each piece has a role in optimizing the tax position and being compliant, by the way. The win, if you want here, is a tax optimized setup that aligns with your financial goals, whether that's reducing tax liability, maximizing returns, or planning for future generations. Italian tax law may look like a strict, very strict, rigid set of guidelines, but within those limits lies a very dynamic system that, when well played, really offer a lot of opportunities to those who understand each piece of the board and plan their moves accordingly. Just like in chess, mastering the game takes time, experience, mistakes that I want you to avoid, and strategic eye. For expats navigating Italian taxes, the right moves can turn rigid tax rules into a winning strategy.